Before humans built cities, before we wrote laws, before we dreamed of machines or stars, something extraordinary happened. We changed the way we thought. Not through evolution alone, but through invention. Long before computers, long before books, a handful of simple ideas transformed fragile primates into strategic thinkers, storytellers, and planners. These were not just tools. They were the first technologies that made humans smarter. For most of human existence, survival depended on instinct. Early hominins lived in a world of constant danger, limited memory, and short-term thinking. Knowledge died with the individual. Experience could not be stored, shared, or improved across generations. Intelligence existed, but it was trapped inside the skull. Then something changed. Over hundreds of thousands of years, humans began to create objects that did more than solve immediate problems. These inventions altered behavior, extended memory, improved cooperation, and reshaped the brain itself. Intelligence became cumulative. Knowledge began to grow across generations. Culture was born. This is the story of the first inventions that didn't just help humans survive. They taught humans how to think. The first invention that made humans smarter was fire. Fire was not merely warmth or protection. It was a neurological turning point. Cooking food increased calorie absorption, fueling brain growth. Nights around the fire extended waking hours, creating time for social bonding, storytelling, and planning. Firelight changed how humans interacted, allowing ideas to spread verbally long after the sun disappeared. Around the fire, humans practiced memory, imagination, and anticipation. Fire created the first classroom. Then came stone tools. At first, they were crude, sharp flakes chipped from rock. But making a stone tool required foresight. You had to imagine a shape that didn't yet exist. You had to remember techniques. You had to teach others. Stone tools were external memory. They stored knowledge outside the brain. Each improved design represented accumulated intelligence passed across generations. For the first time, human progress became permanent. Next came language. Language did not simply allow communication. It transformed thought itself. Ideas could now exist outside of immediate experience. Humans could describe the past, plan the future, and imagine things that did not exist. Language allowed abstraction, the ability to think about concepts instead of just objects. Cooperation expanded beyond family units. Stories preserved lessons. Myths created shared identities. Language made collective intelligence possible. Then humans began marking symbols. Early cave paintings and symbolic carvings were not art for art's sake. They were cognitive tools. Symbols allowed information to be stored visually. They represented animals, seasons, danger, and belief. This was the beginning of externalized memory, the mind reaching beyond the brain into the physical world. Humans no longer relied solely on recall. They could now record meaning. From symbols came writing. Writing was the most profound cognitive leap in human history. With writing, memory became permanent. Knowledge no longer depended on oral repetition. Laws, mathematics, trade records, and history could accumulate across centuries. Writing separated intelligence from the individual. It created institutions, bureaucracy, science, and civilization itself. Human thinking expanded beyond the limits of lifespan. Then came numbers and counting systems. Numbers taught humans to think abstractly about quantity, time, and value. Counting enabled trade, planning, and prediction. It introduced logic, measurement, and fairness. With numbers, humans learned to model reality, not just react to it. Mathematics became a language of reasoning. Timekeeping followed. Calendars and early clocks imposed structure on existence. Time became something that could be divided, tracked, and controlled. Agriculture, rituals, governance, and labor depended on it. Humans stopped living only in the present and began organizing life around schedules, and long-term planning. Time itself became a tool. Each invention built upon the last, forming a feedback loop between technology and cognition. The smarter humans became, the better their inventions grew. And the better their inventions became, the smarter humans grew in return. These early inventions reshaped humanity permanently. They transformed survival into strategy. They turned memory into culture. They allowed intelligence to outlive the individual and become collective. Modern technologies, books, computers, artificial intelligence are direct descendants of these first cognitive tools. Even today, our intelligence is not confined to our brains. It lives in our tools, our systems, our shared knowledge. The legacy of these early inventions is not just civilization, it is the human mind as we know it. When we look at the first inventions, we are not just looking at objects. We are looking at mirrors, reflections of the moment humans realized they could shape their own thinking. Intelligence was never just something humans had. It was something humans built. And every time we invent something new, we continue the same ancient process that began around a flickering fire beneath a stone tool inside a painted cave. The story of human intelligence is not written in our genes alone. It is written in our inventions,